Hey everybody, it's Miss Kelly coming to you recorded from Lords Valley, Pennsylvania in Pike County for Hemlock Farms Conservancy. And today I am unveiling in real time our chestnut tree project that you have been hearing about all week long. You've been reading and going to the links and learning about the value of these trees. And today I just want to talk about how wonderful they are from an emotional standpoint. When we create a project like this as human beings, we are stewards of the environment. So many times we think about land and trees and property as ownership, which of course we each own our property that we live on or where our home is. But the most wonderful way to look at property is look up and think beyond. And that's stewardship. That's caretaking of the land for the future. And that's what this project is all about. While it might not look like much to many, to those that are in conservation, this is sacred ground. This is the planting of our 8 American chestnut trees, which will form the mother plot to pollinate our transgenic tree, which will be soon to arrive. And I want to take you in for a closer look at one of the trees. It's a little hard today. It's much sunnier than I anticipated, and it is a little bit hard to see in their tiny little capsule homes. Got to be careful not to trip. This area was grubbed and cleared. There were only a few trees here, so it was mostly brush that had to be removed. And the trees are protected inside wire cages to keep the deer out and the groundhogs and the chipmunks and all the little creatures that might eat them when they're too young to defend themselves. They don't have a big trunk yet. So you can see peeking out the tiny little leaves of the American chestnut. And you might be saying, why are all these things around them? Well, they can't get too much sun when they're young. They can't get too much wind when they're young. So this will protect them as they grow. I think we can sneak a peek inside this one too. The sun is very, very bright. Can we see that one? A little bit. Pretty shadowy today. So anyway, when we think about our emotional connection to trees, what do we think about? I think about sitting under a shade tree when I was a little girl, having a picnic with my family. I think about picking apples in an apple orchard. I think about swinging on the swing in my old elm tree where I grew up. I'll bet you have stories about trees too. Trees that you remember or trees that you know now. And I bet if you ask your grandparents or your parents, they have stories about trees. Trees grow in so many beautiful places, and it is up to us to be good stewards of trees, to protect them for generations to come. And we already know that this chestnut tree is a valuable tree to be protected for our country, for our Northeast forest, for wildlife, and even for production. Trees are the building block of homes. Wood is what we make so many things of. We sometimes take all those wooden items in our homes for granted, but they are the gift of trees. And chestnuts were once a valuable hardwood in America. I have a kind of cool story about the house I grew up in, that the main beam of the house was a petrified chestnut tree. Bark and all existed on it. And look who just showed up at our project. Mike Sibio. Mike, wave to everybody. Mike is checking out the trees because it's his job to water them. So if you arrive at the project, please don't water the trees. We have skilled people checking in on them, watering them on a regular cycle. So I'm going to leave you with that picture of Mike checking on the trees. This is a special project for Mike. It's a special project for me, a very special project for the Hemlock Farms Community Association, as they are partners in the growth and the care of these trees. They allowed us to plant these 8 trees and eventually the transgenic tree on HFCA property. So every member of HFCA is a partner in this project, and we thank you, Board of Directors, for that. We also thank Tom Huff from the American Chestnut Foundation and the trustees of Hemlock Farms Conservancy for supporting this project. So I look forward to watching these trees grow, and I hope you will join us to watch their growth too. And I thank you so much for your support of Hemlock Farms Conservancy. Have a great day, everybody.